Hello everyone. Happy Tuesday. Yeah, today's Tuesday. I have my ring light on because I'm going to show you some stuff. So, today is the last day for February chats. We will sit back and have a story here in just a little while, but I want to get some stuff out of the way first and then we can do that. So, hang tight. And first I want to tell you, because I did remember to bring it over here, the coffee for today is by Double Donut Coffee, and it's called Caramel Swirl. It's so good. Oh, it's so good. And I did crochet a cap for my cup. So this is done in cotton. And it's just, you know how we do. You know, like if you were starting a hat or a doily or whatever, you do your circle, then you do an increase, and then you do, you know, double crochet and increase, double crochet, increase, you know, that kind of thing. Just made it up as I went. It's just perfect, and it hangs really nicely here on my cart, but it keeps my coffee at the most perfect temperature. Now, I'm drinking quite a bit of this because I have been watching the trial this morning, and I'm so frustrated. I'm like, okay, I got to turn it off. I'm going to do my video. I'll come back to it later. There's no hurry. I don't think they're ever going to get to. It's like Emily says, the day 9,900 and whatever. If you don't know who Emily is, that's Emily Baker. She has a channel and she's a lawyer. I'm in my Colorado cup, and as you can see, I have drank quite a bit of it. I have terrible sinus again. I'm not sick. It's not an infection. I just have bad sinus. With all the wind blowing and everything else that's been going on the last couple days, there's a whole bunch of stuff in the air. And when I looked at my app on my phone, it said that we had ragweed wool. I'm definitely allergic to ragweed. So, that's that. If you hear it in my voice, that's what it is. I got something in the mail, and I really, really have to show you guys. So, as you know, I have been making my log cabin blanket, and I've been making it with what I call my Donna yarn. And here is the log cabin blanket. I didn't get very far on it yesterday, but I did add in that mixed color, and it looks so pretty on this raspberry. Look how pretty that is. So these two rows right here are the ones I just added. And it's called Stormy Morning. And all of these are done with, other than the gray, everything is done with the Donna yarn. And Donna's yarn is Crystal Skies hand-dyed yarn. And I found another one yesterday that I may put in there. And it was back behind me on my wall. And it's this. So that is blowing it out a little bit. Like I said, I have my light on. Let me switch modes. That's better. It's called Utah Sunset. Isn't that pretty? So I may add this into my blanket. So I put it over there in my bucket. But Donna was having a sale on her worsted and on her DK. She had a whole bunch of yarns on sale. I don't know right now. I think she has a few that are on sale. So you could go over and take a look. But I wanted to give you guys a little story about Donna and Amber. I knew about them through watching Laura Brady, and that is Knit for Brains podcast. And she and her daughter talked about Donna all the time. And I was also watching Honeybee Knits, and they talked about Donna's yarn. And I just one day, guess I went in and ordered from her, and I have been in love with her yarn ever since. And I didn't even know at the time when I started to order her yarn that she was the mother of Christy, who is Cafe Creations. And Christy is the mother of Tristan, who is Dragon Horde Yarn. And now Robin, she was Robin Stamper. She does all the stamping, card making, all that kind of stuff. She's taken a back burner now to her business, but her daughter is now Sinful Yarns. And then, as you know, Amber, Donna's daughter, Amber, who is Crafty Performers with her husband, she dyed the yarn for me with my colorways. So I have a history with this family out of Utah, which that's fitting that I found Utah Sunset. They don't all live in Utah anymore. But that's where they started out. So I got a box from Donna, and I am going to tell you, I have already opened this box. But this is my yarn that I bought, and this was on sale. Some of them were like $14. Some of them were $12. Some of them were $18. But they were all on sale from what she normally charges. I've got my little sack of goodies. With a cranberry pomegranate from Stash Tea. Good stuff. The Stash Tea is so good. With mints. And then there is a, oh my goodness, wait. What is, yep. Thought I saw something else in there. There is a stitch marker, and they're just the cutest. Now, I have one of these, so I may go ahead and put this in a giveaway. But isn't that the prettiest little thing? It's a little cat in a teacup. I love it. And I have one. What you think, bud? Whatever's going on with your tummy, I do not want to know. Okay? And I got a card from her, and it's absolutely beautiful. Look how gorgeous this card is. And it's from Chronicle Books. Butterflies and Roses Deluxe Note Cards, published by Chronicle Books. I mean, that's frameable. Jill, thank you for being such a great and wonderful friend. You are truly appreciated. Hope you love and enjoy this little extra. Your yarny friend, Donna. And yes, I noticed right away when I opened this box that there was something that was wrapped, and it was like with a thank you sticker on it, and I'm like, I think there's a little something in here. So we'll get to that in a minute, okay? Now, let me start with her worsted weight. And I got several of the worsted weight. And it's her Somali worsted. All of her colorways are based on cats, because she used to raise cats, and she had several different breeds. This is 100% superwash merino, 100 grams, 220 yards, and it's called Pumpkin and Berry Spice. Here's her card. Got a little cat on there. Look at that. Isn't it pretty? Now I'm going to give you different. Oh, but that's coming up so nice. Now let me change my light for you just a little bit so you can see. When you change the lighting, it does make a difference on the yarn. It's just gorgeous. See, that bright light's blowing it out a little bit. We'll go back to the warm. Pumpkin and berry spice. It's just gorgeous. Just beautiful. Okay, so that's the first one. This is going to be a paw hat. I'm going to do this in my pattern, and then I'm going to put paws around it. And this one is Go Packers Go. It's very pretty. Perfect Packers colors. And then this one is going to be another paw hat. And these are her Bengal worsted, 100% superwash. This one is Somalia, which is 100% superwash. She changed the name. She went from Bengal to Somali. Maybe a different base. You'll have to tell me, Donna, if you're watching. They're both the same specs, though. This one's called Bumblebee. See, it's got like some gray in there. So cool. This is going to make another great hat. What is it? Pittsburgh Steelers that's this color, I think. Not positive, y'all. I'm not great on the whole football thing. And then the last one I got that is a worsted. No, this one's a DK weight. And it's called Harvest Time. It's 100% Polworth. Oh, it's so pretty. This is a very pretty color. Gosh, it's pretty. Harvest Time. I want to say she has some more, but I don't know. I really can't tell you if she does or she doesn't. Let me see if I can change the lighting. Yeah, that's better. Oh, so pretty. Look at all the colors that are in here. So it's a much more, there's much more depth in this, or I don't know if depth is the right word. There's a lot more skill. You got the hiccups, Bubby? Hold on. He's fine. Okay. So that is all of the worsted. I got four of them. And then, well, one of those was a DK. And then this one, oh, I'm pretty sure she's got more of this in the shop, but it's called Bombay Sock. It's fingering weight, 100% superwash merino, and this is called King's Flame. I'm going to have to change the lighting because that one is going to blow this one out because it's so bright. So hold on. Maybe there. You can see the speckles. It's still blowing out a little bit. Let's see. There you go. Turn the light off. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, so pretty. I think he needs to go out is the problem. I'll be back. Okay, that last one was called King's Flame, and that was a fingering weight yarn. Then I was looking for a couple of solids. So I got a couple of solids. These are her DK, and it is her Selkie Silk. So it's 50% superwash merino and 50% silk. And they have a lot of drape. A lot of drape. Such pretty stuff. Feels amazing. This color, on these are 100 grams and 231 yards. And these are called Dress Blues. So pretty. It's looking slightly purple. I guess it might be. Maybe my shirt's pulling. You see where it's more of a navy, getting back to like a navy if I pull it back from the light. Gosh, it's pretty. Dress Blues. And this one is Amazing Avocado. Oh, that's a perfect color. Blues and purples are hard to film. Amazing Avocado. Oh, I love it. This one is Gothic Rainbow. And it is a fingering weight. 100% superwash. It's in her Bombay fingering. There's 400 yards in this. This one is her fingering weight. It's called Gothic Rainbow. Oh, that's pretty. Let's try it without the light. Just looks darker. Gosh, it's pretty. I love that. It's got like this purple section in here. And then this section in here has got like brown and gold. And this has got like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just gorgeous. Then this one is also a fingering weight. This is the Bombay Sock Superwash, 100% Superwash, 400 yards, and it's called My Girl. Talking about my girl. We gotta turn that light off. This really talks 80s to me. It does. It talks 80s to me. I know my girl's from the 90s. But I just love it. Oh, there's so many speckles in here. The speckles are just amazing. Look at that. So cool. And the last one, this is actually, I know this is going to sound really silly because you know how much I love the color. I love all the color. I love it, love it, love it. I love all of it. Teal is, if it's teal, it's Jill. But my favorite colorway that Donna dyes is this one. This will probably surprise you guys, but this is my absolute favorite ever. And I think that seeing it on this one is my favorite. This is called Love on the Rocks. Oh, it is just so pretty. It's so classy. Such a very classy color. Now let me turn some light on and see how it changes with the light. It will brighten up the brights that are in the lighter colors that are in it, so you can see how absolutely deep this colorway is. It has so much going on. Oh, I love this color. And I'm telling you, I think that this colorway on this base is the best that I've ever seen. It looks really nice on the fingering, but I love it on here. And I think she had another one in her shop, and I am going to go look. Love on the Rocks. Now, there is one more. And I've already opened it. Donna, I can't believe you did this. Thank you so very much for this gift. It's a worsted. It was wrapped all by itself. And this is called Till We Meet Again. Are you kidding? Are you kidding with this color? Oh, golly. Look at that. Now let me, so you can see the depth of this color. This is Till We Meet Again. Thank you, Donna. I just love this color. I absolutely love it. Gosh, that's pretty. I love all of it. I love all of it. I think I should just work totally from my hand-dyed yarn. What do y'all think? What if I just do nothing else but hand-dyed yarn? I could be the hand-dyed Floozie channel. I kind of am anyway, right? I'm the fiber Floozie. Oh, that's what makes me the fiber Floozie, though, is I work with everything, and I like everything. Oh, it's all beautiful. It's so beautiful. Okay, now I do have something else to show you that came in. This is an Etsy purchase, and then I also have another something from Donna. I have another package from Donna, and it is the Wizards and Witches Club for spring. But if you come back on Sunday, I will be showing those either Friday or Sunday. Maybe I'll show them. Anyway, I'm going to do them on a different video. I'm not going to do these on this video. That's enough for now. I hope you liked it. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you just for a little bit, give you a story when I gotta go for just a minute, let Serbs back in. When I come back, we'll have a little story and then we'll go. So hold on. And like that, we are back. I now have a brown dog. We've been outside rolling in the dirt. He is so going to get a shower later. Oh, and Mr. D is inside too. It's actually cooler in the house than it is outside. It is nearly 80 degrees today. It's beautiful. The wind's not blowing. But this up and down stuff, for the birds, this up and down stuff, can we get some consistency? But I'm thankful. I'm thankful because we haven't had any severe weather. The storm came through, everything was fine, you know, so I'm thankful. We've had no power interruptions here at all through the winter, everything, so very thankful. Okay, I told you guys that my mom and dad and I went on our motorcycles, and some of you guys are some cool mamas too. Yeah. Some of you told me how you've had or still have motorcycles, and that's wonderful. I've always liked them. And one of my, I think it was Verna that said that they had trikes, that they converted their bikes to trikes. And I would love to have a trike. I really would. That would be really fun. And we could just, Mr. Fiber and I could just take off and go all kinds of places. We could even have a sidecar. He could put me in the sidecar and I could have a cool hat and I could sit over there and knit and crochet. Fun! There's a problem with that though, obviously, with Mr. Brown Dog, is we have a lot of dirt and we live on a dirt road, and that is just no good for bikes. It just isn't. It's not good for their internal combustion engine, for their whatever it is there. It's just not good for them. The dirt's really hard. First of all, it's really hard, a dirt road, with all of the washboarding and everything else that goes on. It would totally shake everything on a bike, and I just wouldn't do it. Now I guess if we had one, we could keep it here, we could put it on a trailer, take it to the end of the road, and then go. And then somebody would have to drive the truck and the trailer back to the house and walk to the highway, which is like a mile. Somehow that just doesn't sound like fun, right? So anyway, or we could keep it somewhere we could have a storage in town and keep it, but then I'd have to pay storage when I have all this room out here. It just doesn't make sense. Trust me, I have thought through some of this and wanting to have a bike again, but no, it's not going to happen. We've had our fun. Now, the trip that my mom and dad and I took when we went to New Orleans, I wanted to tell you, my sister and I so we wound up going to Pat O'Brien's, and at that time, and I'm not positive if it was Pat O'Brien's that had it or if it was another place there along, another bar, whatever, along the road there. on Bourbon Street. But as we were walking down Bourbon Street, we could see a woman, and this was a real woman. This was not a mannequin. This was a real woman on a swing, and there was a window up on the top story, it's a 2-story, and she was swinging, and she would come out of the window on the swing, and then she'd swing, and she'd disappear back inside the building. Now, I remember the last time I went down there with my girls that I did not see the swinging woman. So I don't know if that place closed, or maybe something safety stuff happened and they said you couldn't do that. I didn't even see a mannequin with a swinging woman, so I don't guess the swinging woman is a thing anymore. But it certainly was fun to watch. So we go to Pat O'Brien's with my mom and dad, and my sister and I are sitting on one end of the table, and mom and dad are sitting on the other end of the table, and my sister and I get I think it was called an O'Brien, and it was a lot like a tequila sunrise, to be honest with you, because it was very sweet, it was very tall, you had all these colors on the top, and then down in the bottom was your alcohol, right? Thing was, that would sneak up on you. As we were going along and talking and doing lots of things, you know, and then all of a sudden, the alcohol hit us. And my sister and I got to telling mom and dad stories on ourselves. So let me just tell you one of the stories we told. And my mom and dad were sitting looking at us going, "What? We never heard about this." Of course you didn't. We weren't going to tell you. So here's the story that we told mom and dad that horrified them. We were living in the mobile home in Nevada, and we had friends over, and it was summertime, and it was hot, and we got to fooling around. In the front door of the mobile home, as you opened that door, you looked through, and the living room was off to this side, and you looked through and you could see, and there's the kitchen, and you could almost see through to the back door, except there was a little mudroom laundry that you saw into, but you could almost see, if the door was open, you could see the light there. You couldn't see out the doorway, but it was just almost directly across, right? Well, somebody was popping off to somebody else, and somebody started running, and somebody started chasing them, and the next thing you know, somebody's got a water hose, and somebody was shooting the water from that door to the back door towards it wasn't like non-stop, it was just whoosh, quick like, but still got everything wet. And we spent a good couple of hours drying everything with towels, with blow dryers, and putting it through the washer and dryer and getting everything dry before mom got home. The one thing that we did not, and we couldn't fix, was the calendar. There was a calendar on the door that opened to that mudroom, and that calendar was on the wall. Well, it warped because it got wet. We even put it in the microwave, because if we put it in the microwave, we could dry that calendar out. It'll be fine. It wasn't fine. It was warped. There was nothing we could do. It was ruined. But we didn't say anything. Not a word. Never. Never, ever, ever. And so we tell this story over these drinks. And Mom and Dad are looking at us, and I remember my mom saying, I knew something was up with that calendar. Oh gosh. Now, Serbs, you went out there and rolled in it. Quit your scratching. You went out there and rolled in it. Yep. Oh goodness. So that kind of had something to do with the motorcycles, because we rode to Mississippi and then we went over to New Orleans to Bourbon Street. Goodness. That trip also that I was telling you, we went through Salt Lake City, and where were we headed? No, we didn't go through Salt Lake City. I can't remember where it was we went through, and we're just going along, and my dad used to say, just follow me. Just follow me. No matter what, you won't lose me. You just go where I go, you do what I do. You know, because he's riding, Mom's on the back of his motorcycle, I'm following along behind. Just follow me. And the joke was that if Dad went off a cliff, I'd go with him. Because he said go with him, and I trusted my dad, and I was going with him. And we'd have people, you know, because we rode, you know, he'd ride here, we rode in formation, and then I would be here. So that way, and that's the proper way to ride. You don't ride behind each other. You ride this way because someone coming from this direction or behind you can see that there's two bikes. And there's supposed to be at least a car length behind the bike that's in the back. Okay? And the bike should have a car length between them and the car in front of them. Not all motorcycles adhere to this. This irritates me. They give motorcycle riders a bad name. They should adhere to the laws that are for cars, because a motorcycle, y'all, is a car. I had a run-in with a guy one time. I was coming back from visiting a friend of mine, and I was married to my first husband, and I was going down a 2-lane, a highway, not a lot of room for passing, and this truck passes me, and I feel his wind from his vehicle as he gets around, and I sped up to him, and I passed him, and I slowed down, and I told him to get over, and he pulled over and said, "What is the matter with you?" And said, "No, it's not what's the matter with me, it's what's the matter with you." I was feisty. I was a bit spicy. And I said, "I am a car. The way you were driving was not respecting a motorcycle as if it was a car. And that's not right. I'm a car. So next time you see a motorcycle, I don't care what you do, whatever. But the next time you see a motorcycle, it's a car. Treat it like a car." I was pretty ticked off then. Oh yeah. I had some spunk back then. Oh yeah. And I was right. So, had some adventures. Definitely had some adventures. Now, if y'all had seen me when I was riding, I was something. I would wear stuff like this, you know, these tank tops. I got just a tank underneath this because I knew it was going to be warm today, and it would get a little warm in the house if I wasn't, you know. We have to get all the heaters turned off and switch everything, and then I got my air on. And I would wear these tanks, and then I wore gloves. And in the summertime, Mom and I would both get a little, like right here, we'd get like a little circle which was tan, and then this here would be not, because we wore the thin riding gloves to hold on, because your hands would get really sore if you didn't. So I'd have that little there, and I'd have my farmer's tan, either my t-shirt or my tank. I wore jeans, and I wore boots. And my boots had like a little bit of a point on them. They were, well, they're commonly known as shit kickers. And it had a little, and I would use that to shift my shifter. And a helmet. I never rode without a helmet. Ever, ever, ever. And I had a motorcycle accident, and that's why I now have bursitis in this right hip. So those of you are thinking how you ever did manage to not get hurt. I did get hurt, you guys. I did. Motorcycles are dangerous. They're very dangerous. I love them. I absolutely love them. But you have to respect them. And my accident was, I was actually extremely lucky. Very, very lucky. I was coming, it was in Wichita Falls, and it was off of a bridge, and I got up on that bridge, and I was really famous for running out of gas back in those days. I'd always think I had another 5 or 10 miles left to go in my tank, or I would forget, because my tank had a reserve, and I would forget that I had switched to reserve and didn't go and get gas when I needed to, and I'd run out of gas. Happened a lot. But anyway. Let's say it happened several times. And this particular day, I ran out of gas. And I was coming up on that bridge, so I already was slowing down, okay? And I leaned over and I turned on my reserve. There's a little switch, and you just go like that, and there's just this other little bit that's held back. And you do that, and you get that gas. And I was just getting back up to the speed limit, and I had come over that hill and was just coming down, and since it was a bridge, we had traffic that was coming from the right. There was also just a little past the bridge, there was a turning lane. This woman in a 4-door sedan of some sort pulled over from the right, and I saw her coming over as I was getting up onto that bridge and getting back to speed, and she pulled over through in front of me. I moved over into the left lane, and she moved over in front of me again and went into that turning lane. And I wound up, she did this whole thing, and it happened just all at the same time, and I could not get around her. And I hit the back of her just as she was getting into that turning lane, and I popped up off my motorcycle, came off of it, went over the right side of her vehicle. Miracle of miracles, I did not land on her car. I went over the right onto the pavement. And I got up, and I'm checking. I'm like, am I here? Am I okay? I mean, I know what just happened. I just flew off my motorcycle. I just had a wreck. Am I okay? Am I okay? And I'm checking all over, and I'm feeling for blood, and I'm looking, you know, I see a couple scrapes or whatever, but I'm okay. Next thing I know, and somebody immediately called for an officer, because an officer showed up. Now, at that time in Texas, officers didn't write tickets at an accident. They only made a report, and that's what happened in this case. Someone picked up my motorcycle and moved it to the center. She was in the turn lane, and so she just stayed where she was. They came and they brought the officer ordered a tow truck. The tow truck came and started to strap up my motorcycle to, because it was not drivable. My forks on my motorcycle were completely bent. And so I knew it wasn't going anywhere. So I'm standing there watching them, and they are strapping my motorcycle up. Uh-oh, I gotta change my battery. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Cliffhanger. Okay, battery changed. Sorry about that. So I'm standing there watching, and they didn't really have a way to run the motorcycle up onto the car hauler for taking it. So they had strapped a chain around my gas tank. And they're pulling my bike is just kind of in the air, and they're going to put it on. I'm like horrified watching my bike being hauled. And I had talked to the police officer, and I told him, I said, I saw her. She came from the side. I slowed down. I moved over. She got right in front of me. He comes back and he tells me, he says, she's telling me she never saw you. No, she had told me, she goes, honey, I don't know where you came from. I never saw you, da-da-da-da-da. And I said, she told me she didn't see me. And he comes back and he says, I'm putting it all in my report. He said, she told me that she saw you the whole time. And there was plenty of time. I said, there was not plenty of time. He says, I can tell by your bike there was not plenty of time. But I had a full helmet on with a full face shield. And I'm watching my bike, and I'm horrified. And this officer leans over and he knocks on the front of my deal, and he goes, you can take that off now. I got to work. Now I told y'all that my bike had saddlebags and all that stuff on it, right? I got to work, and I went in and I went and to change clothes, and to go for my jeans and stuff, and to put my skirt and heels and all of that on. I was a head cashier at a place called Edison's. It was a jewelry / gift store. And I had to clean up my knee. I had to put on hose because, and my knee was just a mess, and I had to clean all that up, and it was bleeding and all that stuff. And I had scrapes on my elbows. I got all that cleaned up, and I got my hose and my heels and all that on. I went and got my drawer. I went up to the front, and I put all my money in there, and I'd gotten everything all settled. First customer comes up to check out, and whoosh, down I went. Flat out fainted. My head was down on, I was laying on the floor, and my head was next to my trash can, and this woman's going, are you all right? My manager comes out, and he gets me, and he tells me to take my shoes off. So I'm holding my shoes, and they get my drawer, and they get all this stuff, and he says, you need to hold on to me. And I held his arm and stuff, and he walked me back to the back room, and he says, we don't want anybody to think that you were drunk on the job or something. And I told him what happened, and he said, you need to call your dad. Okay. So I called my dad. My dad took me out to the base because at that time he was still in the service. And I saw a doctor at the base. They did not do x-rays. They did not do any of that stuff. They said I had scrapes and whatevers. They said I might have a mild concussion, that I should try not to go home and lay down and sleep, which I didn't do anyway. But years later, I now have degenerative disc disease in my lower back, which is probably exacerbated by the motorcycle accident. One of the reasons I go to the chiropractor. And bursitis in this right hip, because that's the one I landed on. So that's the rest of the story. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at the yarn. Please go check out Donna's. One of the reasons that I went ahead and bought some more stuff, because I know that Donna mentioned in their last, they're probably going to be on Saturday for it's Hurley's Hand Dyed on YouTube. They'll have their podcast. But one of the things they mentioned the last podcast was that Donna was saying, you know, she's getting up there age-wise, and it's getting harder for her to stand and to dye the yarn. And I thought, I need to get some Donna yarn. All right, I love y'all. I will be picking the winner, so get your comments down below. And it's going to be from here all the way back. So I believe that means I will have 17. I will have 17 names to choose from, okay? And then you will be getting a bag. You'll be getting some hand-dyed yarn. You will be getting some goodies in there. So be sure and put your comments down below. And sometime in the next few days, I will give y'all, I'm not going to do it right away. I'll probably do it Monday. Let's say Monday, I will pick a winner for the whole month, for the month, February Chats and Month of Love. If anybody is wanting me to write out all of the things I did on the poncho, let me know. I did take notes, and I can write it all down for you. Okay? Y'all have a fabulous day. Have fun today. Bye, y'all. I'll see ya.